Why isn't there a homemade trading card game shared universe? Why don't we ever see, like, a Thunder Squid from Epic Wars TCG attacking Planet Borrow from Chaos Galaxy, or Bob 2699 from Chaos Galaxy visiting the Mystic Islands from Mystic Islands TCG while hanging out with Salazar Golden Angel from Wrath of Kors TCG? It's kind of a weird omission. The homemade trading card game community has always been closely connected to each other, so it's not like they're not aware of each other, right? TCG channels are always opening packs from other creators, holding art contests to add their fans' art into their games as cards, and meeting up to go on theme park rides together. To be fair, there have been crossovers, collaborative games where multiple people in the community contributed cards, like Dreamscape TCG or Set 4 of Wrath of Kors TCG, so I guess at least technically, you could say at least those particular games are in the same universe as each other, but I feel like it's more of a cameo thing. Why no real full shared universe? Granted, I'm an outsider to the community. I make paper computer games. I've never made a TCG in my life, unless you count the card battles in Pokemon Stop, which is a stretch. So take my words with a grain of salt. I really don't know what I'm talking about here. And I hope TCG people will correct me if I'm off base in the comments, but it seems to me like a shared universe is low-hanging fruit. A logical and easy step to grow the TCG community. So why hasn't anyone thought of it? Why hasn't anyone done it? I can say from experience that it's not hard to do. After all, the paper computer game community is way smaller than the TCG community, but we've been able to create an epic shared PCG universe that many different creators have been adding to. So what's the problem? Well, for one thing, the TCG community in recent years has become a lot more professional, largely due to the existence of GameCrafter. It's a really easy way to create digital art and turn it into professional-looking cards and sell them for real money on GameCrafter, which your fans will buy. This is great for creators, but on the other hand, I can see how it could make people not want to let others use their characters and stories in their own works. People are afraid of having their ideas stolen. After all, if you spend a lot of time and effort to create this world, why should someone else be the one to make money on it? Maybe it would be easier to turn it into a shared universe if it was still in its early pre-GameCrafter stages before things got all professional. It might just be bad luck that no one thought of it back then. It might also have to do with the nature of TCGs. Most TCGs are focused on gameplay mechanics more than stories. I mean, sure, many TCGs do have lore, even rich and interesting lore, but the part that gets talked about the most on their YouTube channels is the cards themselves, the art and the gameplay. The lore has always been more of a backdrop, so it makes less sense for story crossovers to take place, since crossovers are more of a story thing to begin with. It is also kind of a counterintuitive thing if you think about it. Just in general, most authors of any kind of stories don't think to set their new story in someone else's universe. Like, if you're starting a new novel or TV show or whatever it is with new characters in a new setting, most of the time, by default, it's in its own new universe unless it's being made specifically as a spin-off of another show, for example. So yeah, I get it. It makes sense to me why it would be a thing no one's really tried, but that doesn't mean it couldn't work. There's no reason why it couldn't. Yeah, it's true that a lot of creators are protective of their intellectual property, which would make more serious crossovers difficult, but here's the thing. They don't have to be. Any creator can, at any moment, choose to share. All that's really needed for that to happen is for them to believe that the benefits outweigh the drawbacks. I think if creators started sharing their stories with each other, more and more creators would start to join in too. And it might be slow at first, the little creators, but then a bit bigger and then bigger until a tipping point is reached and everyone's joining in. I really do think that's possible, but creators have to want it. Each creator has to choose for themselves whether to share their world with others. For those who want to, I think there are huge benefits to having a shared universe, like huge benefits. I get why people are hesitant to make the jump, but once people do, I think it has the potential to make the TCG community grow like never before. Seriously, y'all folks are missing out. People love to be included in what they're watching. If you're a creator, imagine how much more invested you'd be in watching someone else's video if you knew there was a possibility your own characters and creatures might show up in it. Even Chaos Galaxy himself spoke about how exciting it was to see his card appear in someone else's game, and that was just like 1 or 2 cards.
Every creator at the time wanted to get a card into the game. I sent over my designs in June after set 1 and barely made it into set 2. Watching Peter open the cards and pulling ones I designed was such a thrill. I haven't put Chaos Galaxy on the Game Crafter yet, so you have to understand that this was a big thing for me.
So imagine how much more easily viewers would get into your TCG, into your universe, if they had some chance to be a part of it themselves in some small way. It makes it a lot easier for new people to get into the TCG community if they know the lore they create can be part of a larger storyline that their viewers will already care about. Like, imagine if you're mostly, say, a Chaos Galaxy fan and you're really into that lore, you'd be more likely to click on a new TCG maker's video if they can see it's connected to the Chaos Galaxy lore they already enjoy. But more than that, it's fun. It's fun to work together with others on a massive collaborative story. It's fun to flesh out your own corner of a bigger world. It's fun to see what others do with lore you created, how they take it in new directions, which gives you new ideas in turn. And whenever your channel retires, if you get tired of making card games and videos, your lore can live on long after you're gone from the community. And it's rewarding to know that the world you created will keep on living, keep on evolving and growing as part of a greater whole. And maybe you can check in on it every once in a while and see how all your characters are doing. And hey, if nothing else, it can give you a source of characters, of creatures, and lore to enrich your TCG with. After all, that's what Epic Underworlds did when he connected TCGs to our paper computer games universe. This is Genghis, a character I created, and he's an Epic Underworlds TCG. So yeah, whoops, surprise, the title of this video isn't really correct because there already is a shared TCG universe, and it's the paper computer games universe. Because it's not just Epic who connected to the paper computer games universe. Unleashed TCG has also created a paper computer game called Influxation, which is connected to the lore in his trading card game. And Yak Games even made a hybrid paper computer game TCG. Like, it's a TCG with PCG rules, and it's all about our PCG character, Zuvak. And Cool PCGs created 2 homemade trading card games, which are both set in the PCG universe. Card Attack TCG and Galaxy Clash TCG. And sure, that's not a whole ton of creators. It's small right now, but it's growing. So hey, jump on board. Connect your TCGs to other people's TCGs and to the small but hopefully growing TCG Shared Universe, which is part of the paper computer games Shared Universe. So I guess we'd have to start calling it the PCG TCG universe? I don't know. Depending on what your game's about, I think most of the time it can be pretty easy to connect your existing lore to the PCG universe. For example, Epic Underworlds TCGs take place in the Shogun sector, which is a solar system with a bunch of planets out in space. Well, he just decided that those planets have always been out in deep space of the paper computer games universe, so now people with spaceships from paper computer games like Balzac Globotron can visit his Shogun planets, and now they do. The same thing would work pretty well for Chaos Galaxy, I think, since that's also set on a solar system of planets somewhere out there in space. Now, that's not the case for everyone, but I think in most cases it would work. Like, if your game is set on, say, some kind of, I don't know, mystic island, you could just say it's an island that's always existed on an unexplored part of Earth of the shared universe, if that fits with your lore, or you could set it on another planet entirely. If your TCG takes place in the past or future, just say it's the past or future of the shared universe. I bet a lot of your games would fit together into one universe surprisingly well if you tried, because hey, the universe is a big place. There's room for all kinds of stories. And look, I know it's scary to let other people use the creatures, characters, and lore you've worked so hard on. It's a big step to take. But hey, once you try it, it's not so bad. Here, I'll go first. Folks, you are free to use anything from any of my games in your trading card games or whatever other project you're making. Go crazy with it. I want to see what you come up with. I hope some of you watching will make videos saying the same thing, and we can create a group of shared ideas and concepts within the TCG community that everyone can build on together. For those who don't want to, I totally get it, but for those who do, I think it could be fun. I don't usually say this, but share this video to anyone you think would be interested in connecting their TCGs to a shared universe. Thanks to Epic Underworlds for helping my research for this video. Thanks so much for watching, folks, and PCG you later.